kuchangia shida tu katika bunge hili. Asante Bwana Spika.
On that.
I thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there are many factors that could precipitate suicide, and the owner of this petition, or the drafter of the petition, has only taken one angle, which is mental incapacitation, Honorable Speaker. So I think, Honorable Speaker, life being so sacrosanct, this House cannot administer an easier process that leads to extermination of life. I do believe that judges and magistrates, before they make a final determination person, they usually recommend for mental examination. This House would make changes to that effect. Then that medical examination should also include cases of suicide. But we are not going to allow Kenyans to take out their lives at will, because basically that is what this petition is intended to achieve. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Member for Wajir West.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to oppose this motion.
It's a petition.
I mean to oppose this bill or proposal or petition. Mr. Speaker, Islamically, suicide is not allowed. And if I quote the Honorable, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, indeed, whoever intentionally kills himself, then certainly he will be punished in the hellfire. Mr. Speaker, if God himself decided to punish those who commit suicide, as human beings, we have no power not to punish them, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I believe anybody who is taking his own soul should be punished, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I oppose the petition. Thank you.
Yes, Member for Kamkunji.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand to support the petition by Professor Tuoli on this particular critical issue of suicides. And I want this House not to mix people's religious beliefs and our ability to legislate justice for all our citizens. You know, people who are committing suicide are mostly people with mental illness, people who are not psychologically balanced, people who have problems in their own lives and feel that it's not worth living life on earth. So to bring in biblical or Quranic verses in order to oppose it is rather out of place. And I think we should decriminalize and make sure that, in fact, the patients who survive get the medical attention that they need psychologically and get the necessary help that they need. I heard some member of parliament say that, in fact, we will be encouraging more people to commit suicide. But even if you took someone who is not balanced and who has survived to prison, they can still hang themselves in prison. There's no deterrent. So I think we should give them the support that they need. We should protect them, and we should make sure that, in fact, they get cured so that they can enjoy living a happy and a wonderful life in Kenya and on this world. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, Rueda, you'll be the last on this.
Bwana Spika, mimi nataka sisi hapa bunge tuwe makini sana, na sioni kama ni sawa tukisema sisi tusifate dini. Katiba yetu inatambua dini zote. Tunasema hivi, Bwana Spika, katika Uislamu kujiweka kitanzi ni katika dhambi kubwa sana, na naamini kwa Biblia ni hivyo hivyo. Lakini pia Qur'ani inasema mtu yule haandikiwi madhambi ni watu watatu. Ni mtu yule ambaye hana akili mpaka wakati wake akili itakapokurudi, na pia mtoto mdogo, na mwingine ni yule amelala mpaka atakapokuamka. So kama kutakuwa na njia hapo ya kuhakikisha kweli hana akili, then hapo tunasema hana dhambi. Lakini kuna watu wanatumia hizi nafasi, hata mtu akikosana na bwanake ameoa bibi mwingine, sisi wengine angalau tunakubali wanne, lakini kuna wengine wakiolewa tu mmoja, anakunywa, anajifanya amekunywa, hataki, ni drama tu anafanya, kumbe hiyo hafaa kuwa punished. So kuna mambo mengine hapo yasiingizwe katikati, mtu akatumia hiyo advantage. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Okay, the petition is committed to the Committee on Public Petitions. Is Nimrod here? They report back in 60 days. Honorable members, before the next order, honorable members, order. Honorable members, allow me, on my behalf and on your behalf, to welcome back to the House your colleague from Isiolo North, the Honorable Samal, who has been battling with some ailment for several months and has missed attending this House for close to a year. We thank God that he's now recuperating properly. He still has some challenges, but he's come to see the Speaker and informed the Speaker that he's now able to attend the House at least minimally for 20, 30 minutes to an hour per session. And we all must wish him a quick recovery so that he can continue discharging his duties on behalf of the electorate of Isiolo North. Honorable Samal, welcome back, and we wish you quick recovery. I don't know if he's able to speak well. Honorable Samal, are you able to say something? It's difficult from what I noticed.
Hello. Welcome.
And Honorable Samal, don't stress yourself. We wish you a very quick recovery. And from the time I saw you at the hospital and now, I can report to the House that there is tremendous progress in the recovery of Honorable Samal. Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Tuesday, August 13, 2023. Submission of nominee to the National Government Constituency Development Fund Committee for Hamisi constituency by the National Government Constituency Development Fund Board. Number 2, National Government Budget Implementation Review Report of the first 9 months of the year 2023 for the year 2023 to 2024 from the Office of the Controller of Budget. Number 3, County Government's Budget Implementation Review Report of the first 9 months of the year 2023-2024 from the Office of the Controller of Budget. Number 4, reports of the Auditor General and financial statement of the National Government Constituency Development Fund, NGCDF, for the year ended 30th June 2023, and the certificates there following constituencies: A, Bobasi; B, Bomachoge; C, Bonchari; D, Bondo; E, Emuhaya; F, Hamisi; G, Ijara; H, Kangundo; I, Kitutu Chache North; J, Kisumu Central; K, Kisumu West; L, Lafe; M, Lagdera; N, Mandera East; O, Mandera South; P, Mbere North; Q, Narok East; R, Nyakach; S, Nyando; T, Nyatike; U, Rerienda; V, Sabatia; W, Seme; X, Suna East; Y, Wajir South; and Z. Yata. Honorable Speaker, I lay the papers.
Chairperson, Select Committee on Budget and Appropriations Committee.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 13th August 2024. Report of the Select Committee on Budget and Appropriations Committee on its consideration of the County Government's Additional Allocation Bill, that is Senate Bill number 19 of 2024. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairperson, Diaspora and Migrant Workers Committee. Aika.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 13th August 2021. The report of Diaspora Affairs and Migrant Workers Committee on the study visit to Philippines from 7th to 12th August 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Aika. Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security. Honorable Tongoyo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, 13th August 2024. The report of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the inquiry into the state of security in the 6 counties of North Rift, of Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, Turkana, West Pokot, Samburu, and Laikipia, declared as disturbed areas.
Honorable Tongoyo. Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Agriculture, Dr. Mutunga.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, that Tuesday, 13th of August 2024, report of the Departmental Committee on Agriculture and Livestock on its consideration of the Mang Bean Bill, Bill number 13 of 2022. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Dr. Mutunga. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Honorable Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security, Tongoyo.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion.
Yes.
That this House adopt the report of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the inquiry into the state of security in the 6 counties of North Rift, of Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, Turkana, West Pokot, Samburu, and Laikipia, declared as disturbed areas, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 13th August 2024.
Thank you, Honorable Tongoyo. Next order.
Thank you.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
I'll start with you, Chepkonga, yes?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, about 2 weeks ago, you referred a statement by the Honorable Kawanjiko, the Member of Parliament for Kiambaa, with regard to some agreement signed by the National Treasury and with a company in Kenya to grant them waivers of taxes. Mr. Speaker, we had a meeting this morning where we interrogated the officials from the Ministry of Treasury. Unfortunately, there were certain documents, critical documents, that were not presented to us, although they came with a statement, which was extremely very wanted. So we are seeking, Mr. Speaker, a further 2 weeks to receive the necessary documents that we have requested and for them to give us the information that we have sought from them. So we are seeking for 2 weeks.
2 weeks extension granted.
Mr. Speaker, can I take also this opportunity to extend an invitation to members of Parliament? Mr. Speaker, I raise pursuant to Standing Order 83. Mr. Speaker, as you are aware, the President will be granting Eldoret city status. We'll be granting a charter on the 21st, on Thursday, to make Eldoret the 5th city in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, as you know, Uasin Gishu is the home of, is the home of champions, which was this city, Mr. Speaker. So on behalf of the members of parliament who come from the Eldoret city, Mr. Speaker, as you know, all the 6 constituencies have been delineated to touch Eldoret city. So every member of parliament brings their milk, brings their wheat, brings their maize, following their constituency all the way to Eldoret, Mr. Speaker. So on behalf of the members of parliament, the Honorable Barto, member of parliament for Moiben, on behalf of the member of parliament for Kapseret, Honorable Oscar Sudi, engineer, on behalf of the member of parliament for Tarbu, the Honorable Sitiene, on behalf of the member for Soy, Honorable David Kiplagat, finally, Mr. Speaker, the Deputy Speaker herself, the county member of parliament for Uasin Gishu, the Honorable Gladys Bose, we would like to warmly extend our rich welcome to the members of this house to attend the grant of the charter to Eldoret City as the 5th city in this republic. As you know, Mr. Speaker, this is a city which has produced very many champions. This is the home where the first athlete to get gold medal, Kipchoge Keino, this is where he resides, Mr. Speaker. So it would be, and it is intended, Mr. Speaker, that it will be recognized. And so it will be a very nice thing, Mr. Speaker, if members of parliament, because this is not an Uasin Gishu matter, Mr. Speaker. This is the pride of our country, that we have now the 5th city, Mr. Speaker. You know, other countries just have 1 city. You can imagine, Mr. Speaker, we are proud to have 5 cities, Mr. Speaker. And I see on the Bombui acknowledging, Mr. Speaker, and also seeking that Makueni one day will be a city. And this is a learning experience, Mr. Speaker. And as you know, Mr. Speaker, Eldoret is a sister to a number of cities, to a number of towns around that border this county, Mr. Speaker. As you know, Bungoma is one of them, Trans Nzoia, Kericho, Bomet, Elgeyo Marakwet, Baringo, Kitale, Mr. Speaker, have been connected by the Honorable Bukose. That's where he comes from, and he plans to attend, Mr. Speaker. So you are most welcome to attend this grant of this charter,
Yes,
Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Gosia, what is your information?
Mr. Speaker, I just want to inform my colleague here, there is no place called Makueni. He should have said Wote. Makueni is just a name, but the town is called Wote, Mr. Speaker.
Corrected, Mr. Speaker, by a person who knows. Mr. Speaker, as you know, CNN, popularly known as CNN. You know, he watches CNN, so he has more information than myself. So I agree, Mr. Speaker.
Next, we go to the statement by Honorable David Ocheng. The Honorable Ocheng is not in the house. We'll stay to tomorrow. Next is Mashua Waithaka, MP for Kiambu. Honorable Mashua, go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence, and Foreign Relations regarding the arrest and prolonged detention of 2 Kenyan citizens in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Honorable Speaker, 2 siblings, Mr. Kevin Bogwa of passport number BK3490508, and his sister, Ms. Neneli Wangoi of passport number AK0227614, who hail from Mberi in Kiambu constituency, were arrested in Dubai in December 2023 under unclear circumstances and are currently being held incognito by Dubai authorities in Ajman jail. Their detention has now persisted for nearly 8 months. This prolonged incarceration without clarity on proceedings or due process has caused distress among the family members. The lack of communication has left the family in a state of fear and uncertainty regarding the fate of their loved ones. It is deeply troubling that no formal charges have been filed against the two siblings. This situation also raises questions about the safety and well-being of Kenyans abroad and the effectiveness of our diplomatic interventions in such cases. It's against this backdrop that I request a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations on, one, the current status of Mr. Kevin Bogwa and Ms. Nelly Wangoi, who are detained in Dubai. Two, steps to provide consular support and ensure communication between the detained individuals and their family in Kenya. And three, diplomatic measures being taken by the government to engage with UAE authorities to resolve this matter and ensure the preparation of the two Kenyans to rejoin their family. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Who is the chair for foreign? That is Nelson Koech. Is he here? Any member of the committee? Majority leader, inform them. Yes, Kandie? You bring the response in 2 weeks.
I will let my committee know that the report should be done in 2 weeks. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Joseph Namwar, Turkana Central. Give, okay. There you are.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 42-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy.
Speak with some energy, we can't hear you.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 42-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation regarding the incomplete projects in Turkana County by the National Water Harvesting and Storage Authority. Honorable Speaker, the National Water Harvesting and Storage Authority was established under Section 30 of the Water Act 2016 with the main mandate of undertaking development of national public works, water works for water resources, storage and flood control on behalf of the national government. The authority plays a critical role in promoting access to water for Kenyans as enshrined in the Constitution. However, it is deeply concerning that despite the Kawalase flood control project in Turkana County receiving budgetary allocations in financial year 2018-2019, 2019-2020, and the last financial year 2023-2024 for gabion construction and river training works, no tangible progress has been made by the National Water Harvesting and Storage Authority. The lack of progress on the project not only denies the people of Turkana access to water, but also leaves them vulnerable during the recurring floods that have caused devastating losses in the region. If this situation continues, more catastrophic losses are expected, including the risk of displacement of Napetet village and the adjacent Lodwar airstrip in Lodwar municipality. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation on the following. One, what are the reasons for the slow progress and incomplete status of the Kawalase flood control project by the National Water Harvesting and Storage Authority in Turkana County? Number two, could the ministry provide a report on the utilization of funds allocated to the project from financial year 2018-2019 to financial year 2023-2024? Number three, What measures is the ministry putting in place to ensure timely completion of these stalled projects? And number 4, what steps is the ministry taking to enhance project oversight, management, and accountability to prevent similar occurrences of incomplete projects in future in Turkana County? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Bowen, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the
2 weeks.
national water harvesting has had a serious challenges and is among the institutions listed as 47 to be winded up. Mr. Speaker, I will take up with the ministry and I should bring a report in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Catherine Omanyo, Honorable Member for Busia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Request for statement regarding the status of fishermen in Budalangi, Kenya-Uganda border area. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44 2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence, and Foreign Relations regarding the harassment of Kenyan fishermen in Lake Victoria. Honorable Speaker, the Lake Victoria is the largest freshwater lake in Africa and the second largest in the world. It is a shared resource among the Republic of Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, and supports the livelihoods of millions of people, particularly those who depend on fishing. It is regrettable that Kenyan fishermen continue to face many challenges arising from transboundary conflicts with Ugandan authorities. One of these conflicts is the frequent arrest and detention of Kenyan fishermen by Ugandan security forces, who accuse them of trespassing into Ugandan waters or operating without valid licenses. According to reports, Ugandan police officers often confiscate the boats and equipment of Kenyan fishermen and demand hefty bribes from their release. Some of these bribes can be as high as Uganda shillings 700,000, which is equivalent to Kenya shillings 30,000 per person. In some cases, Ugandan security forces have also used violence against Kenyan fishermen, resulting in injuries or even deaths. Honorable Speaker, these incidences violate the rights and dignity of Kenyan fishermen who are entitled to fish in the lake as per the agreements and protocols signed by the East Africa Community, EAC member states. These agreements and protocols include the Lake Victoria Fisheries Organization, LVFO, which was established in 1994 to promote sustainable management and development of the fisheries resources in the lake. The LVFO also aims to foster cooperation and coordination among the riparian states on issues such as fishing licenses, regulations, enforcement, monitoring, and research. These incidences undermine the spirit of friendship and integration between Kenya and Uganda, which have a long history of bilateral relations and cooperation. The two countries share not only common border, but also a common culture, language, heritage, and destiny. Honorable Speaker, it is again this backdrop that I seek a statement from the Departmental Committee of Defense, the Intelligence and Foreign Relations on the following. 1, steps being taken by the ministry to engage with the government of Uganda to ensure that Kenya fishermen in Lake Victoria are treated with respect and dignity, and that any disputes over fishing rights are resolved amicably and peacefully. 2, strategies put in place by the ministry to work with LVFO and other stakeholders to harmonize the fishing policies and procedures in the lake and to provide adequate support and protection to Kenyan fishermen. And lastly, measures put in place to enhance security and surveillance in the lake and to collaborate with Ugandan authorities to prevent and punish any acts of harassment or extortion against the Kenyan fishermen. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Yes, Wanjala. What do you, that is her statement. You want to be a joyrider?
To add some additional information we have just gotten now to support her. Mr. Speaker, on 11th July, they arrested 8 people from Budalang in the lake, from Bunyala South, the location, Bunyala South Ward. 1, Joseph Ouma Kudira, ID number 1727955. Number 2, Joseph Ouma Kudira, Moses Kudira, ID 22968364. Stephen Okoch, 16 years old. Preston Sanya, ID 27492504. Patrick Namunja, 33478402. Zedekiah Oguta, 25754746. John Oboloti, and lastly, Michael Wafula. And Mr. Speaker, we want to tell the Ugandans that all the rivers that flow into Lake Victoria, that feeds Lake Victoria, are from Kenya. And fish is bred in Kenya, but goes into deeper waters. That's why our people go there, and it's a shared resource. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Waundo. Give him the mic.
Speaker, I'm one of the constituencies I represent that is heavily, badly affected by the so-called, let me call them, sorry, Speaker, bad manners of our Ugandan neighbors. Honorable Speaker, hardly a week ends without reports of abduction. Actually, this is not even arrest, it's abduction. Honorable Speaker, they come all the way to the shores of Lake Victoria on the Kenyan side and abduct our fishermen forcibly, so that they can give them the 30,000 they always crave for every single day. And when we ask them why they do that, they say the military and the police in Uganda are not paid any salary, so they are suffering, and that's why they come to look for little money. But Honorable Speaker, for us from Funyula, we have found a way of dealing with them. You take our boats, you take our people, we also hold yours. It's now become, we hold yours at ransom, and we trade off. So, Honorable Speaker, we really want the two countries to have a discussion, including Tanzania. We put this matter to an end once and forever. These are shared resources where people with the same language, same culture, same tradition. We do not know why they keep on harassing us. If we continue doing this, we are going also to look for self-help measures so that we resolve this matter once and for all. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is a matter, Mr. Speaker, that needs to be addressed seriously by the East African community leadership, because it has happened over and over again. And most of the time, the Kenyan fishermen are always arrested in Uganda. They are punished, like it has been said. Some are kept in cells for so long, and then it goes just like that. So, Mr. Speaker, we really need our government to take this matter very seriously, because when they come to Kenya, the Ugandans, Kenyans do not hold them the way they are. So our apparatuses also need to be very seriously on the ground to protect the Kenyans, and not only about fishermen, about even all other traders across the borders between Kenya and Uganda. Mr. Speaker, I also would like to probably suggest that the Committee on Regional Integration also, hello, Mr. Speaker. No, he's not hearing. Mr. Speaker, I also would like to suggest that the Committee on Regional Integration probably be involved in this petition. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, in this statement.
Bondo. Member for Bondo.
Mr. Speaker, this is
Gareth,
a
you have no
serious
issue with
menace.
this.
Mr. Speaker, the whole issue of the conflict between Kenya and Uganda, particularly our fishermen, is a menace. And at the time that this will be addressed, I think there's going to be a lot of peace in that region. If at all we are completely unable to determine our boundaries, let's use the simplest way, even if it's a string. Can we have it on the lake? For anybody else, if you are crossing from Ugandan side, you get to know you are at the boundary. Or if you are crossing from the Kenyan side, you get to know that you are at the boundary. Because it is difficult. Nobody can know exactly where that boundary is. And what we are conflicting on is fish. Even when you had a boundary over the water, fish will never respect that boundary. They will cross left and right. So the most important thing is that we must get a harmonious way of coexisting, particularly between Kenyans and the Ugandan side, but more so the people who are using the resources on the lake, Mr. Speaker. It's something that has been there for long, it's been persistent, and we must get a solution to it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Seme.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a big problem for all people around the lake. But Mr. Speaker, I just want to draw attention that there was actually 2 years ago, we passed and established the Coast Guard as a unit which function was to actually guard the coast and actually protect the fishermen. And this, it was expected that by the time the Uganda forces come in, they would probably meet our coast guards and therefore resolve this issue without affecting the fishermen. So, Mr. Speaker, I think what we should look at, what does the Coast Guard do, particularly in Lake Victoria? It was actually expected that a base would be established somewhere around Busia. So, Mr. Speaker, this is something we really must address as a country.
Yes, lastly, Bukosa. Mutunga, you want to speak to this?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the issue raised by Honorable Anjala, the member for Butalangi, is a very serious issue, and I think it needs attention because all of us, especially who live along the border, these resources must be shared equally and without discrimination. We are all signatories to the East African Federation, and as East Africans, we should not have police arresting the people of Butalangi, the people of Endebess, the people of Punyula, or the people of Matayos. They should be freely moving, whether they are fishermen or they are hunters and gatherers, so that they get whatever resources they need to get. So I think this is something that should be addressed by the head of state of Kenya, President Ruto, together with his brother, President Museveni, so that this issue can be solved once and for all. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Let's end here on this. Mutunga, take a minute. You'll be the last.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the issue of skirmishes in Lake Victoria, especially aggression by the Ugandan people, and especially by the Ugandan government officials, is quite disturbing. Honorable Speaker, we wonder why we do not hear of such instances by the Kenyan security forces. The last time we had issues with Migingo Highland, and there was so much of aggression from Ugandan government. Honorable Speaker, this matter seems to be fizzling out. Whenever it comes up, we just discuss it here, and it doesn't take effect. We're asking the relevant institutions to take it up and deal with it to the conclusion, because, Honorable Speaker, we should not forget that the Second World War was caused by a single assassination in Europe. So Ugandans are going too far to cause a lot of aggression to the Kenyans. As we are resilient and we believe in neighborliness, we believe in friendship. When they had problems with Amin or Bin Dada, they were living here and we never killed them. We never disturbed them. The water has actually come from Kenya. So, Honorable Speaker, we don't understand why they should always be disturbing our people when they are even fishing on our side of the border. Honorable Speaker, this matter needs to be dealt with conclusively. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Defense, Intelligence, and Foreign Relations, can you bring a response in 2 weeks?
We will do that, Honorable Speaker.
Okay. Tongoyo, response to a statement by Wilberforce Oundo. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, the statement by Honorable Owindo, MP for Funyala, had said to Funyula, had asked, had requested to be informed the criteria of distribution of government vehicles to the national government administration officers, and also like specifically the question, the criteria for and the status of distribution, the step that the government has taken to ensure that all national government vehicles, administrative officers, particularly those in Funyula constituency, are facilitated with the vehicles, and when the ministry is supplying vehicles to the national government administration officers, especially in Sumia sub-county. I state as follows, Honorable Speaker. The ministry has a shortfall of 1,718 units of motor vehicles, way above what is allocated from the leasing program and budgetary allocation for the National Treasury for the purchase of motor vehicle. The ministry has embraced the leasing program as the best way to address the mobility challenges faced in the service delivery. In the year 2021, the ministry retained 200 units of Ford Ranger model motor vehicles after expiry of the leasing program, based on the mechanical report from the field administrative officers. The units were distributed to all the departments and field administration unit as follows. Deputy County Commissioners, 68 units. County Commissioners, pool for use by ACC in the county, 102. Departments in the ministry, 30, a total of 200. The question on regards to question number 2, the ministry has submitted requests to the National Treasury for a allocation of motor vehicles units under the leasing program, and the ministry is yet to get the allocation of motor vehicles. That is, Mr. Speaker, in the just budget, concluded budget, which actually I had mentioned last week. In regards to question number 2, Honorable Speaker, Samia sub-county was among 68 sub-counties that retained for Ranger model unit whose lease had expired. The MV registration GK B9391H is the current vehicle in use by the Deputy County Commissioner. The pool vehicles at the County Commissioner, Busia County, are GK B369J and GK B745H. The ministry is awaiting the National Treasury to allocate funds for the leasing program. Once the motor vehicles are availed from the leasing program, the ministry will deploy them to the field administrative officers, of course, to include in this said sub-county. Priority will be given to the sub-counties that do not have leased motor vehicles, Samia sub-county included. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I submit.
Oundo, you satisfied? We got the next.
Honorable Speaker, yes, I'd had a discussion with the chair before, and what he has indicated here is what he had told me. Of course, Honorable Speaker, I'm not satisfied for 2 reasons. Number 1, the timelines are not given. As I stand here, Honorable Speaker, the vehicle he's talking about is actually grounded. GK B391H is actually grounded. And yet the county commissioner indicates that even the ones that he has indicated here are not in good working condition. So I want to ask him to continuously engage the ministry so that we expedite the process. They can follow up the money in the treasury. And as they proceed with the leasing, please do not forget the various police stations in Funyula constituency that have got no vehicles at all. To an extent, Honorable Speaker, the police cannot mount any security operation. They have no vehicles. Sometimes they have to use bicycles or motorcycles
to chase after criminals, which is now becoming a very dire situation. And I want to ask him to continuously press the ministry to make sure that we move with the speed, address these issues. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Tongoyo, yes, because on the same.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, when you listen to Honorable Tongoyo, he's saying that county commissioners have been given 102 vehicles for use by ACCs. And I don't know how that distribution is done, because many of the ACCs, including ACCs in Endebess, in Jepchoina and other places, they have no vehicle to use. And I don't think they are able to even access those pool vehicles. Secondly, you have, out of the vehicles that are bought, 68 are given to the DCCs. Then 30 are given for departmental heads. These means vehicles are remaining in Nairobi within the departments, and yet we are starving those who are far away who could be able to utilize those vehicles. I think Honorable Tongoyo will need to go back to discuss further and give us even a breakdown on how the 102 vehicles to the county commissioners have been distributed. And if possible, get those 30 that have been given to departmental heads to be distributed to the various counties, so that ACCs, DCCs can be facilitated to be able to perform their duties.
Honorable Speaker, I appreciate the counter response from members, but from actually the opening remarks, Honorable Speaker, I think I did make it very clear that there is an acute shortage of the motor vehicles. And it's not just actually in the sub-counties, the sub-county of the member, the concerned member, but to the majority of actually administrative units in the country. But the question, Honorable Speaker, lays in this house. It is a matter of resources, and the issue of resources is done by this house. So I will challenge, call upon all members, if we want to address the acute shortage of the motor vehicles among administrative units and officers, we allocate sufficient resources to the ministry so that they can able to lease more.
Go to the next. Is Joseph Namwar in the house? Okay, go ahead and respond to his statement.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. The statement regarding the incident involving the Kenya Wildlife Service personnel in Marsabit County by the Honorable Member Turkana Central. Honorable Speaker, the Member of Parliament for Turkana Central, Honorable Joseph Namur, had requested a statement regarding an incident involving Kenya Wildlife Service personnel in Marsabit County. The Honorable Member particularly requested to be informed detailed account of the incidents, including circumstances that led to the extensive force by the KWS, specific action that has been initiated to ensure thorough investigation and to ensure that the ministry has put in place to ensure that the family of one Mr. Esinyeni is compensated, and the step being taken to de-escalate tension between the KWS and the local communities, including collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife to prevent such tragic instances. Honorable Speaker, I want to state as follows. On 12th June 2024, at around 18:30, KWS officers based at Sibiroi Game Reserve were conducting a patrol along the shores of the Lake Turkana when they encountered an ambush and contact with armed illegal fishermen, whereby 2 KWS officers were fatally injured as follows. One, number 6099, Samuel Longalon, the assistant game warden, shot on the right part of the chest. Number 8249, CPL Michael Oreng, shot on the right part of the chest. The incident was reported to the North Hor Police Station. The bodies were later removed for the scene after processing by the OCS North Hor for KWS camp. Within the same game reserve, before being airlifted, the following day to Nairobi for preservation and postmortem. On the 13th, Honorable Speaker, the KNWS officers mounted operation along the shores of the lake in pursuance of the criminal and flushing out illegal fishing camps within the protected area. 3 days later, it was reported at Kalalok Police Station, Turkana Central Sub-County in Turkana County that Mr. Daniel Esinyen, a Turkana fisherman, was shot in the waters of Lake Turkana, allegedly by the KNWS officers in retaliation. The investigation into the fatal killing of the two KNWS officers has been opened, and the case is still pending under investigation by the DCIO North Horr. 2 persons were arrested but found not connected with the case and were charged for offense of illegal entry into a protected area. They pleaded guilty as charged and were sentenced to 3 years each by Marsabit Law Court. Investigation into the alleged murder of one Mr. Daniel Esinyen is also pending under investigation of DCIO North Horr. Honorable Speaker, the case is still pending under investigation. Once investigations are concluded, the necessary action